What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Lazy Channel. Today we're checking out 10 kids caught stealing cars. I'm talking about like 6, 7, 8-year-olds stealing their mom's car and, you know, going for a little ride. To be honest, at 8 years old, I don't even think I knew how to walk. So I don't even know how these kids did this, to be honest. But before we can hop into it, you all know the drill. Scroll down below and like the video for the algorithm so it shows the video to more people. And if you're new watching this right now, consider subscribing. If you enjoy the video, subscribe before you leave. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, let's check it out.
When it comes to stealing cars, little kids are probably the last person you'd expect to come up. I mean, can you even arrest a 5-year-old?
Yes, there's 5-year-olds that's murdered their whole family. Real f***ed up.
Little Jimmy, I saw that. Put the Spider-Man stickers back right now. Most times, the only things young kids will steal
That was not funny.
are little things, but stick around to find out how one kid got into a high-speed chase and had a police helicopter after him. And be sure to like this video or a small child will jack your ride. I wouldn't risk it.
Like the video, you heard the man. 10 kids who stole cars.
Number 10. As a kid, it's hard to not want candy 24/7, and most of us would do just
I don't like candy.
Cap.
I'm lying. Sour candy?
anything to get a piece. One thing most of us wouldn't do, however, is take our grandpa's SUV and drive it off the nearest candy store. But at the age of 4 years old,
There's no candy stores. There's stores just for candy. Where? Not around here, buddy.
this kid did exactly that.
And how fast were you going, do you know?
I hit this gas brake and like that
And where were you going?
to the gas station.
How come?
The gas station, not the candy store. But he called it a candy store. He can't even see over the wheel. He can't reach the pedal. How did he drive? For him to reach the pedal, he had to lean down. Even with him setting completely up, he still can't see over it. So how did he back up, turn? Like, how?
Because I have reasons.
This kid took his grandpa's whip just to grab some Reese's.
Now, see, you
He
could have stole that. He could have just stole the walker and, like, just started push himself. I would probably do that, to be honest, as a kid. But try to steal a car, he's like 2.5.
literally learned how to drive just by watching other people. Now that is one smart kid. Then with that knowledge, he drove.
That's kind of how everyone learns how to drive, to be honest. Like, you see everyone drive and you're like, okay, I can do that. Well, of course, you got to go get your license, permit, or whatever. But when you first get behind it, the only way you know how to drive is from seeing other people drive.
Down a series of winding roads that he committed to memory just to get to the gas station so he can pick up that sweet
No
treat.
way. That was stock footage. There is no way in hell he was driving that perfect. No way.
Thankfully, the boy got there safely, albeit he took out a few mailboxes
Yeah.
and clipped a tree along the way. Sadly, though, he didn't get his peanut butter cups, and as punishment for his endeavors in literal Grand Theft Auto, he won't be getting any sweets anytime soon. I respect the kid for his effort here, but next time, let's hope his sweet tooth keeps him on the right side of the law. Number 9.
Yes.
While the last kid might have accidentally broke the law, this next one did it intentionally. After getting into a scuffle with his mom, this 7-year-old decided to head out.
Oh, he's thugging.
Grabbing his grandmother's car keys. The boy grabbed a friend who was into hood rat stuff, and the two took off without
Hood rats.
any destination.
Just the way you say hood rat stuff. Oh my God. That's funny.
I took my grandma car because I got mad at my mom, and then I saw and had my friend come in, and he smoked with cigarettes.
He started the vehicle and put it into gear.
Don't smoke cigarettes, kids. That's not cool. Don't smoke cigarettes. Smoke crack. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. Don't smoke anything. Oxygen, good.
I yanked it. I yanked the thing.
And off they went.
Considering the kid could barely see over the steering wheel, I'm surprised he and his friend made it through the drive without any injuries. Unfortunately for him, the car was pretty much destroyed, and boy, was he in trouble. I don't know of any insurance providers that cover grandkids in their plans, but this woman might want to look into it. Although I'd imagine punishments were surely in order after this scary joyride. At least the kids made it out safe and all, but next time they should probably keep the keys far away from this little delinquent's hands. Number 8. What is up with all these 7-year-olds wanting to get on the roads early? Like, I respect the grind, little dude, but you gotta wait a couple more years. This little guy just wanted to get out and know what it was like to get behind the wheel of a car. So instead of waiting until his 16th birthday, he just got up, put the keys in the ignition, and,
Take a look at this dash cam video from a cruiser in Plain City, Utah, as an officer chased down a suspect driving.
Is driving like pretty decent to be like 2.5. Okay, 7, whatever, same difference. But when he stops the car, he just bucked it. He said, buddy, I'm not going to jail.
Erratically
What?
running through 2 stop signs. The chase lasted for several miles, and when the car finally stopped, a 7-year-old boy got out ran out actually from behind the wheel.
For a 7-year-old, that's good driving. He didn't hit nothing.
30 miles per hour. For a kid, that was quite the high speed chase. He even kept running after ditching the car, heading into his home to get his dad. The
That's
kid's
his
old man
house.
had zero
You
idea.
fucking idiot. You little dummy. You went to your own house. Well, I guess he's 7. He doesn't know what he... Imagine you're running from the police. Mom, close the door. Just run inside. Mom, lock the door.
Idea where his kid was, so he was panicked until those same police came knocking at his door. The dad here was, of course, a little mad at his son, but nevertheless very thankful that nobody was injured in the kid's morning drive. After this early morning endeavor, the family went on to Sunday church, and I'm guessing they all prayed that this kid waits another 9 years before getting into the driver's seat again.
Got his little ass baptized.
Number 7. Imagine you're 12 years old, just waking up for the morning, and all of a sudden, you hear screaming followed by a loud crash. Like any curious kid, you'd run outside to see what all the noise was about, and you see a car flipped over and a Comcast pole knocked down? If I'm that kid, I'd probably chalk it up to being a really weird dream after a night of playing GTA. But in the case of this kid, it was completely real, and the circumstances surrounding it are even more wild than I would ever dream up.
Tire marks in the dirt leading to a knockdown Comcast pole teetering on the cable. Pieces of the car's lights, tires left behind.
I was sleeping and I woke up to screaming and I heard something crash.
I doubt this family is ever going to let that kid near any of their cars again. Like, how does this kid just take their family friend's car after those same people offered to teach him how to drive? He, of course, went on to crash the vehicle. Thankfully, though, after the crash, he made it out unscathed. But to the surprise of everybody watching the incident, this guy had a few years before he should even be thinking about getting behind the wheel.
Didn't even say his age. He was probably like 15. That ain't even that crazy. Be taking the car at 15. Come on.
Number 6. If you look up the word rebellious in the dictionary, a link to this kid's police chase will be right there next to a picture of my man Han Solo. Okay, seriously though, this kid reminds me of a real-life Bart Simpson with his overly defiant behavior. And after being fed up on a boring day, this
When we yawn, do deaf people think we're screaming? Let me know in the comments.
kid decided it would be a great idea to take his dad's car out for a spin on the highway. This should probably go without saying, but this wasn't exactly the best decision for a 10-year-old to make. 50 miles? How does this even happen? Allegedly, the kid was even reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour at some point.
He
in the
was
chase.
pushing it 50 miles? What?
To make matters worse for the kid, the police weren't the only ones hot on his tail. If I were him, I'd be running too. There isn't any punishment out there that's worse than what a mad mama can cook up. Well, unless you count being charged as a felon for this dangerous attempt at entertainment. Fortunately for
He got
the boy,
charged?
though, nobody was seriously harmed in the incident. But after this wild ride, I hope the kid's finding different ways to keep himself busy.
Damn, he
Maybe
got
he can play some
charged.
Minecraft
That's
for their
crazy.
last entry. Number 5.
I'm
So
trying to
far,
play
we've
some
seen
Minecraft.
crazy things that kids have done with these stolen vehicles, some even committing felonies in the process. But out of all of these entries, we haven't seen any of them actively trying to run officers off the road. That all changed with this 15-year-old who snagged the keys to one of his school's buses, then decided to take the
What?
big yellow vehicle for a spin. This
Like 15. I already said it. 15 motherfuckers is taking their mom's car. 15. But the school bus though? You crazy as hell. You for sure going to jail for that. You take your mom's car, like your mom just gonna beat your ass. You take the school bus. Now you in trouble. Why did you take a school bus?
kid is all over the place, going side to side along this mostly quiet highway. He continues on for a while, driving erratically before eventually...
Ooh. 7-year-olds was driving better than you. Like real life 7-year-olds was driving better than you.
Yeah, this didn't look like any ordinary field trip. In fact, it kind of looked like he took some driving tips from Miss Frizzle.
The
Jokes
Magic
aside, in that
School
collision,
Bus!
He and the officer were hurt, but neither of them received any fatal injuries, thankfully. What this 15-year-old did receive, however, were some criminal charges, including aggravated assault, evading, and grand theft auto. It's a great
All
thing
that.
that there were no other kids aboard, otherwise he would be in a whole nother mess.
It was nighttime. How did he even get in the school bus? He's not even at school. Did he go break into the school bus? Like,
4.
what's going on here?
Speaking of messy situations,
Another
just
one?
picture you're out at work having a totally average day when suddenly you get a call from your local police station. Any natural reaction to that call would be, well, why are the cops trying to get a hold of me? And I'm sure the last thing any of us would expect is that a 12-year-old kid drove a car into our home. For this guy, that was his reality.
Say it all started
What?
after they got the call A 12-year-old boy just stole his parents' new Ford Escape. Neighbors who shared these photos with us say firefighters got to the scene after the 12-year-old crashed into the duplex.
12?
That's when he took off running.
That's gotta suck for sure, but at least nobody was injured in the home. Funnily enough, the guy's mother was inside, and she didn't even hear a single sound.
Is that the
This
kid?
lady sounds like the kind of woman who could sleep through the end of the world. After the kid collided with the garage, he attempted to book it on foot before inevitably being caught by officers. Trying to make an excuse he could, he told officers that his parents should have never left the keys there for him to take in the first place. Talk about a little brat. And to make matters worse for the parents, the car he crashed was brand new. It was even yet to be insured. Looks like this kid's college fund is being spent early to get his parents a new car. Let's just hope he doesn't decide to have another joyride in that one. Number 3. The last kid didn't have an excuse for committing Grand Theft Auto, but if there was ever any good excuse for stealing a car, it's gotta be this little guy. I don't know about you, but if I ever missed the school bus as a kid, I'd head back inside and ask my mom if I could skip the day. This kid wasn't really interested in that route, and instead opted to drive himself to class. And he must have had a field trip or something if he was excited to go to school.
That little motherfucker must have loved school if he decided, hey, I'm finna steal my mom's car so I can make it to school, because my ass would have walked right back inside and went to sleep. He must have really liked school.
10-mile drive from home to his school. And credit to the kid, he made it almost all of the way to class before he swerved and hit a telephone pole. Now, thankfully, he did make it out of the collision, okay? And considering he made it so far, hopefully his teachers made an exception and marked him present for the great effort he made in getting to school that day.
Did he go to
maybe
school?
Next time, wake up a little earlier and be
Did he
ready
make
for
it?
that bus, bud. Number 2. Imagine stopping at a gas station, heading inside and grabbing some snacks before you turn around and realize your car is being stolen. Then you find out about an hour later that your missing vehicle was found, but that it was also currently in a high-speed chase with a local police department. Those cops have a high-speed pursuit with a criminal that's only 14 years old. I guess the kid was tired of watching
14
police
ain't
chases on
that
TV
young.
and decided to give one a go.
Like, depending on how you grow up, like, there's some 14-year-olds that is pretty much grown, and then there's some 14-year-olds that you think they in, like, 4th grade, like, dumb as hell.
The kid wasn't the most driven on keeping his new ride, and unfortunately lasted just under a minute in the chase before having
Damn,
to
they had
ditch
the
his new
thermals
wheels
on
and
his
van
ass.
on foot. After being found by the cops, it didn't take long to apprehend him, and thankfully for everyone involved, the car wasn't damaged and nobody hurt. But even if he was hurt physically, this kid's criminal record is going to be damaged for a long time. And your number 1 spot. Working as a delivery boy seems like a decent gig. You get a paycheck.
They stole the Domino's driver's car.
Tips on top of it. But in the case of this driver, he might want to tack on a couple extra zeros to this kid's bill,
drop my water.
considering the boy took off with his car.
Police say this kid called in the Chinese food order himself, waited for the delivery guy to get to the door, then he jumped in and took
It wasn't Domino's, it was Chinese.
off with his car. Today, that delivery driver is back to work. His car is a little scratched up.
I would be so paranoid going on any future deliveries if I were that driver. Like, how does a kid even think to do something like this? You got to give the kid a little recognition, though. The boy dashed away, but didn't exactly get too far before police
He don't
caught
look
up
that
to him
young.
and cuffed him for his multitude of crimes.
Let me know down below in the comments which one y'all thought was the craziest, 1 through 10. Just drop the number down below. I appreciate y'all for watching. I love y'all. Ta-ta.
My love's like a black hole sun, so bright when it burns, so dark when it's done. So hard to relate to one when I find myself tripping off that blunt.